am Beaver Buddy. What if a child could teach their own parents how to love again? At the end of this story, you will find a moral that you will never forget. In a small town hidden among the hills lived a boy named Oliver, who never cried and never laughed. But no one knew why. He just watched the world in silence. Oliver's parents, Mara and Theo, were always busy, always fighting. They spoke loud, but never truly listened. They worked hard, but never really lived. One day, Oliver found a bird with shimmering feathers and a broken wing. It didn't speak, but it blinked twice, almost like it understood pain too. Oliver named it Luna and built her a tiny bed in an old shoebox. Every day he whispered stories to her. For the first time, his eyes lit up softly. As Luna healed, she began to sing, not songs, but sounds that matched emotions. When Oliver was calm, she sang soft. When Mara yelled, she screeched. One morning, Luna let out a song so piercing, so full of sorrow, that it silenced the house. Mara and Theo stared at each other, shaken to stillness. "Did that bird just cry?" Theo whispered, unable to look away. Oliver simply nodded and stroked her head as if saying, "Now you hear what I feel." The next day, Oliver spoke his first full sentence since he was 3. "She sings when it hurts, just like I would if I could." Mara dropped her cup. Theo froze. Neither had realized that their silence had been a cage, and Oliver had been locked inside it all along. They tried to talk, but Oliver shook his head. "Don't talk to me. Talk to each other. Show her. Show me that this house can be music, not noise." That night, Mara sat beside Theo in the kitchen. "Do you remember when we first danced in the rain?" she asked, her voice trembling. Theo smiled faintly. "You hated wet socks, but loved the mess," she replied. And for the first time in years, their laughter was not forced. In the living room, Luna chirped a new tone, gentle, curious, like hope on the tip of a feather. Oliver listened from the stairs, heart thudding. The next day, Mara painted again. Colors filled the walls like forgotten memories. Theo fixed the squeaky door and cooked pancakes shaped like stars. Oliver began to smile, just slightly at first. But when Luna fluttered her wings and soared across the living room, he clapped and cheered aloud. But everything changed one rainy evening. Luna vanished. Her box was empty. Only a single iridescent feather remained on Oliver's pillow. Oliver searched the garden, the forest, the rooftops. Nothing. Mara and Theo joined him, calling softly, "Luna, please come home." That night, Oliver cried, truly cried, and Mara held him while Theo whispered stories, just like Oliver had once whispered to Luna. Days passed, no sign of Luna. But something had changed. The house was full of music. Mara's painting, Theo's laughter, Oliver's voice. One stepped forward and sang Luna's melody. Oliver gasped. The bird bowed slightly, then nudged a small package tied with a golden string. Inside was a note, written in curls of golden ink. "Where love returns, I return too. Let me guide others now." It was signed with a feather. The birds vanished as quickly as they came. Oliver held the note to his chest. Mara and Theo stood behind him, holding hands, tearful but proud. That day, they built a birdhouse in the garden. Not for Luna, but for any soul that needed healing. It was shaped like a heart with wings. Word spread, and children came from other towns. They brought hurt birds, broken toys, and even poems they had no one to read aloud. Oliver welcomed them with pancakes and paint, laughter and songs. He wasn't just a boy anymore. He was a guardian of the quiet and unheard. Mara taught painting classes. Theo played music in the garden. And every now and then, a shimmered feather drifted down like a silent applause. The town changed too. People talked more, listened deeper. Every rooftop had a birdhouse. Every child had a place to be seen and loved. And every time the wind blew just right, a soft melody echoed through the hills. A reminder that silence isn't emptiness, but a waiting heart. Moral: sometimes the smallest voice holds the power to heal the loudest wounds, when we choose to listen with love, not just ears. See you soon with more magical adventures, wonderful places, and heartwarming tales with Beaver Buddy.